Thank you, Dave.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the DYCD CAB Strategic Partnership Committee meeting. I'm Susie Tanenbaum. I represent Board President Donovan Richards on the CAB. I'm
Hold on a second.
third.
You need to mute either your phone or your computer.
I muted my computer.
No, you're double zipping there.
How's that? Is that better?
No.
Is that better?
Nope.
It's echoing.
Hey,
Yeah, I
Susie,
hear that.
Susie,
Wait a minute.
go to the
Is
microphone.
this better? Does that stop the echo?
No.
Did that stop the echo?
No.
Maybe I can't run this meeting then. I don't know what else to do. I've turned everything off on the computer.
Hey, Susie,
But I
I don't
can
hear an
think
echo
of.
now.
Susie,
I don't
David.
hear one.
can like you hear? Try to go to the microphone on the mute button down there and check the box that says "Leave computer audio," and see if that
Let
works.
me see.
Yeah, that'll. That should move.
Oh, where is that? Oh goodness. Leave computer. I'm looking at settings. Is that what I'm looking at?
No. Go
No.
down to the mute button. There's like a triangle without the
Yep.
bottom. Check that, and then there's an option that says "Leave computer audio." It's right
Yes.
above the settings.
Yes.
See if that works.
I just did it. I think I just did it.
So you should be good now because you're only coming out of your phone.
Okay. Do you still hear an echo, everyone?
Nope.
Is that better,
Everyone-
Susan? Susan, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We could hear you. Yes, Susie.
I'm sorry.
And I'm not echoing.
No echo. No echo.
No,
No
echo.
echo.
You're good.
Yes. Okay. We're going to try this one more time.
Take two.
My gosh. Take two.
Okay.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the DYCD CAB Strategic Partnership meeting. I'm Susie Tanenbaum. I represent Borough President Donovan Richards on the CAB. I serve as third vice chair on the executive committee, and I serve as chairperson of this strategic partnership committee. We will move right into our agenda. I thank you all for your patience, and I apologize for all these technical glitches, and thank you all for your help. We're going to begin with issue areas. First one is NAB membership report from the one and only Susan Patterson, Director, NAB CAB Liaison Unit.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Our numbers have gone down a little bit. So in terms of our actual numbers with DYCD, we have 200 filled seats, which means we have 46 vacancies. And with the EPOs, we have 71 filled seats, which gives them 175 vacancies. I will tell you that the staff has gone out to several offices to elicit help and gotten very little response. We will continue these efforts, especially after we finish our meet and greets, which we're in the middle of doing it, but we're losing people. And if we can get the elected officials to step up, we'll be in better shape. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Susan. Are there any questions for Susan or any comments? Okay. Please tell me if I'm not hearing someone. Okay. Hearing none.
Hold
please.
on. It's Grace. I'm going to be seeing my assemblyman tonight. So what do are they put people on the NAB cab or just the NAB?
The NAB.
Okay, so, wait, you're muted, Anita.
Yeah, Anita.
They recommend people to the NAB. So if they have a candidate that they think would be good for the NAB, they can send us a letter of recommendation.
Right,
And we will, and the person needs to fill in an application, complete an application, and then we will work with them to get them on the NAB.
but, so we're losing people from the neighborhood advisory boards, not the CAB, or both?
No, well, there's some vacancies on the CAB, but we're working to get them filled.
Okay,
But the NAB has 6 seats that we can appoint people directly. And then the other 6 seats, we need recommendation from elected officials.
okay, all right.
Hi, could you hear me?
Hi,
I had a hard time getting on.
yeah, I'm sorry, Jackie.
Happy you made it, Jackie.
Same to you.
Well, thank you again, Susan. If there are no other comments, we're going to move on to the next issue area. And
Ye-
that is the 2022 Community Needs Assessment Update. And I believe Anita Antonetty, the one and only, is going to give us that
My
report.
turn, yes. Unfortunately, there's no news yet because we have a third-party independent contractor that's working on it. They're trying to make it presentable that people can understand what the numbers mean and all of that. And that's where they're taking longer than usual to do that. So we're hoping by the next CAB meeting, not this one in November, but the one in January, that we'll have a report that we can give to the CAB of the results of the 2022 Community Needs Assessment. Because
Great.
next year in 24, we'll start preparing for the 2025 needs assessment. So we're hoping to have this one in available for people to read. And we get questions from all over the city, like what were the results? What were the results? So we're waiting on that. But DYCD is required to give the results to the CAB. That's what the state looks at. And then we will also give the results to the neighborhood advisory boards, citywide plus in their communities. So stay tuned.
Well, we're all waiting with great anticipation to see the
Yes.
results of
Yes,
the
yes.
community needs assessment. And many of the people on this Zoom and on the NABs were actively involved in collecting the data. So
Yes.
yeah, I want to see the fruits of their
them
labor.
were. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And what
Thank
we
you
did
very
get-
much, Anita.
We did get a good number. We got 29,000 surveys returned, which is the highest number we've ever had. So it's all good. It'll be good.
Yes, and I believe this is the first time that you made the survey available to all New York residents, not just New York residents living
The N-
in the NDAs, right?
Right, that's correct. That's
So
correct.
it'll be interesting to see the analysis of how that helps, you know, how
Across-
that makes it different, and if
Yeah.
it helps
Yeah.
to
And
have some
also,
more
you know,
responses.
there, since we only have 41 neighborhood development areas, it would be good to see the other parts of the city that maybe there is need there. Well, I know there's need there, but it might be significant need. Because there's low.
But if they don't
low-
officially qualify as, according to the federal government, as NDAs, then they can't become NDAs, can they?
Yeah, they could, because people move. They move all over.
Yes,
And we have new people who have come in. So I'm sure it's going to be very different. And we might have to change the boundaries of the NDAs.
Yes.
So it's going to be good to see that.
Wow. So that's really major. Yeah.
Mhm, it
Okay.
is major.
Looking
So-
forward to that, Anita.
So
Thank
we'll,
you.
we'll have that. So now let's see, meet and greets. We hold meet and greets usually the first year of a new contract. However, last year, as you know, we were doing the 2022 community needs assessment. So we couldn't do meet and greets also because then I would have lost all of the staff and myself included if we had to do both. But anyway, we're doing the meet and greets now. And what this is because many of our neighborhood advisory board members and some of our CAB members read the proposals and rated the proposals. And this is a chance for those CBOs that won the contract to come and speak to the NAB and say what they're going to do with the money and what they're planning for the next 3 years or 2.5 years now. And also to know who are the people that took part in having the contract for them, in making the contract for them available. So that's what we're doing now in all 41 neighborhood advisory boards. So we will be sending out the flyers to the CAB members, and I hope they're going out to the CAB members, but if not, I'm going to make sure they get out to all of the CAB members that are representing the neighborhood development areas so that you can attend as well. And so we've been having 2 or 3 per evening these last couple of weeks, which is a little
Wow.
hard, but we're pushing forward. So
Anita, where do the meet and greets take place?
they take place in the community, in the NDA of wherever it is. And what I can show you is our strategic partnerships unit for DYCD came up with a PowerPoint that talks about DYCD programs. So I'm just going to show that right now. It goes really, I go through it pretty fast. So let me just get it going. The slideshow here. Okay. So this is what we do in the beginning of the meet and greets. What we do is we talk about the different departments of DYCD and what they offer. But we always start out with our mission statement, which I'm sure most of you know, and the vision statement of how we try to alleviate the effects of poverty and have New Yorkers thrive in New York and have a chance to get out of poverty. So our 4 divisions are youth services, community development, which is us, workforce, and strategic partnerships is a new division that goes out into the community to pinpoint what's needed in the community. So DYCD Youth Services Program covers Compass and Sonic, which are after-school programs. They have the Cornerstone programs, which are in NYCHA housing community centers, and that serves the whole family, not only the youth. The Beacons are after-school program too, but they also serve the family of the children that come in. And this other one, what do I have here?
Drop-in centers.
Oh, this is the runaway and homeless youth services. Those are for young people who have been put out of their homes or have run away from somewhere else in New York City or from other parts of New York City. And it's to provide them with services so that they can get a secure place to live, or they can just have something to eat and maybe some health services as well. So it's a very important program that DYCD has. And you can stop me if you have questions along. So this is just a little more. And what I did was I attached it to the meeting invite, so you can have a copy for yourselves. If you want a hard copy, just let me know and I'll mail it to you. So this is a little more information about the Compass, Sonic, and the Cornerstone, and the other program, and the Beacon program. So our runaway and homeless youth, as I told you, is to help youth that have nowhere to go. There's a street outreach part. In fact, our new liaison, Reggie Gibson, he worked in this program also and was out in the street trying to help youth that had nowhere to go. And there's borough-based drop-in centers where they can have a shower, they have laundry services, and they'll have case management services. Crisis service programs, providing emergency shelter. And this is all for 16-year-olds to 20-year-old, and 16 to 20-year-olds and 21 to 24-year-olds. Transitional independent living is finding a place for them to have a permanent home.
Anita, is it
yes.
okay to ask a question?
Sure, ask a
Yes.
question.
Do you have the locations of those centers
Yes.
listed on the website? That's
Yep.
what this is.
That's
Sorry.
what this is. This slide is about where these centers are, and you can see that they're
Perfect.
all over the drop-in centers are all over the city. The crisis programs also pretty much all over the city. And if not, they will be referred to whatever's close to them. And transitional independent living programs, street outreach, and services connecting to other DYCD programs or other services.
Grand Queens.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jack.
So each liaison each one have their own borough, or one liaison goes to all 5 boroughs? How do that work?
Which liaisons are you talking about?
No, you said the outreach.
Oh, the outreach, they go, they go where they're needed.
No, how do they know? Okay. You have
Oh,
to have
you
an
know-
assignment.
Reggie.
Yes, I'm sorry. Hello, my name is Reggie Gibson.
Hi, Reggie.
Hi. What they do is they have 2 vans. They're like mobile crisis vans that drive
Okay.
around the city. And sometimes they go to spots where they know teenagers will be. So say, I'll use Manhattan as an example, because that was the area I work with. So in Manhattan, they'll be by Union Square Park. They'll be by the pier on the west side. They may be uptown because they've realized a lot of kids uptown may need services. And these vans pretty much, they'll provide, say, like if they need toiletries, they may need referrals. They may even help them get to a drop-in center eventually, but they work with them on their own time. They have with social worker trained people working with them, professionals that work with them.
Okay.
What we can do is we can have somebody from this program come and
Yes.
talk to the board in the program committee meeting or strategic partnerships meeting.
Right.
We'll have somebody come and talk to all of you. And you
Okay,
can-
I know it's time, but this is so important because
It is.
I see a lot of kids, Reggie. I'm in Harlem. Let me say
Okay,
Harlem.
same.
Even though I work with citywide mothers and fathers and kids, but I'm gonna give you an example. What about Lexington Avenue on 125th Street? It is horrible. And you have a lot of homeless and teenagers that's out there. How do you reach them? Do you get out the van because they might look like, or how do that happen? That's what I
Yeah, I think the street outreach vans, I think they probably do get out the vans. I haven't worked in the units in almost 10 years. I've been with the agency, but from what I gathered, I doubt outreach has changed that much in the last 10 years. But they probably go to where they're at. And funny enough, you mentioned that because there are 2 drop-in centers on 125th Street. There's Safe Horizon right across the street from the state office building on the 2nd floor. I think their address is listed there. And
Yeah.
Ali Fournet is further down. I know they're right above Popeyes on 125th Street.
Okay, okay, but it's no more Safe Horizon there across from State Building, just to be clear.
Mhm.
Just for FYI, but
You mean
anyway,
right? You mean over Benjamin's?
right.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead. Let's move forward.
Well-
We'll have somebody, like Anita said, probably
Yeah,
come.
can
I have a
come in
question.
and provide updated information.
Yeah, well, I have a question, Anita.
Go ahead.
These youth services,
Mhm.
these are standalone, but what I'm wondering, are there agencies that get funding to provide these services? Like
Yes.
JCCA and other homeless, other entities that are supposed to provide for homeless youth and families?
Well, we have them listed on this page here. So it's Rising Ground, SCO
Okay.
Family Services,
So that's
Project
all of them. Okay.
Hospitality, The Door, Ali Farney Center, Safe Horizons, Street Work, Cardinal McCloskey in the Bronx. And they have the intervention centers also, the Covenant House and
Mhm.
Sheltering Arms,
Yeah,
Maya's
well-
Place, the Bridge. There, you know,
Yeah.
there's different places, so we work with all of them.
Well, can I just say we need more in the Bronx, because
Oh,
I don't
of
know if you know
course.
where Cardinal McCloskey,
Is
Uh,
in downtown, in the South Bronx.
well, yeah, it's
Mhm.
right, but that's like one specific area. The Bronx is a big place.
It's not one specific area. They get,
No? Oh, because it only has one
because
address
it's in
here.
it's in a building there. So they send or bring the youth to that building. Because remember, we were talking about the van that goes around. They take them. They don't just, let them find it on their own. They come and bring them. And sometimes, depending on what part of the Bronx, they might be closer to some place in Manhattan or even in Queens.
Huh.
So they may go there too.
Oh, okay.
So this is a citywide division or the unit that works everywhere in the city.
Mm-hmm. You're right, but I'm just seeing that you got 3 in Manhattan, 2 in Queens, 1 in Brooklyn, 1 in the Bronx, and 1 in Staten Island. The
Yeah.
3 boroughs that are probably needed the most have, I'm just saying, there's
No,
one
but,
specific thing.
1 to 2.
people may have to move around. The thing is to have the organizations who want to do these services and do these services. And then the money is not,
Yeah. That was one thing I wanted to add, and I'm not gonna,
go ahead, Reg.
without getting too.
Mhm.
There were, at the time when this was first started, there weren't a lot of places in the Bronx that were
Mhm.
submitting for this. So it made it very hard in terms of that's why the resources were limited. Unfortunately, at the time, I mean, even I'm sure it may have expanded, but even I'm looking at some of the ones they have now. They weren't even there when I was there. So it was kind of rough in the beginning. A lot of places, and we even had to shut down a couple of places that did not know how to deal with youth. So they would say that they can offer it, they would do it, but then when we would go out there to inspect it, either the place didn't meet inspection, the program didn't have the proper staff. They had one program had such inappropriate staff, we had to shut it down. So it was very hard trying to find providers. So that was a difficult process in terms of trying to find and trying to locate people to do it.
Wow.
So we will expand as we can, and
Yeah.
as we can get the funding for it, and and get more people interested in working with these young people. But I promised I'll get them to come and talk and give you the lowdown of what exactly is going
yeah.
on now.
The staff there is they're awesome. I mean,
Yes, they are.
they're committed to it. Any one of them can speak on it and speak highly of what they do. And I'm sure that, like I said, I haven't worked there in a few years, but I'm sure there's much more going on. And next month is National Runaway Homeless Month. So
Really?
Yes.
November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't have, no idea.
Yep.
Let me- A quick question, is there any way we can go do a field visit and go visit,
I
maybe
I don't
one or
think so, because they're worried about the safety
Privacy,
and
privacy and safety. Yeah.
privacy
Oh, I
and the
see.
safety, security for the young people.
Yeah, because some
So-
of them are, especially if they're underage, they might be running away from their parents, sexual identity issues, things like that. So, they may be transitioning and their family may not know, or think, other, or just anything could be going on. So it's kind of a privacy thing.
Mhm.
Even with like certain files and stuff, you have to be real anonymous with certain things because you have to respect their privacy.
Yeah, so our next program, our next unit, division, I should say, is our workforce division. And you can see that they have quite a few different programs. Their most famous program, of course, is the Summer Youth Employment Program. But they have other things that they work with young people who are out of school and need job skills or need help deciding what they're going to do, whether they'll go back to school, get their equivalency, or work. So it's quite a number of programs, and we can have that. We've had them before talking about the summer youth, and I think in January I'm going to have Sarah Whitney and company come back and talk about how the summer youth program went in this last summer. And then we can get some of the other programs. They might be able to talk about the other programs also. So I'm going to ask them to do that. So this is a little bit more about each one of the different programs. And this is community development, and that's us. So our CSBG funding, so that's you all on the CAB. It's the neighborhood advisory boards, literacy, immigration services, neighborhood development areas. The NDAs are the programs, and the Fatherhood Initiative works with young fathers to get them connected to their children again. And discretionary is not part of the, well, it's part of community development. However, their funding comes from the city council. These programs are city council funds that DYCD administers. And there's a whole, you see the whole list there. What has increased over since the pandemic are the food pantries. They're like everywhere. And because there's such a need for food, especially with the prices of food today. But they also do all kinds of other large and small programs because it's all based on what their council person has given to them. Let's see what else. And here are some photos of community development programs. So we did have the talk last time around about the centers where they were learning English. I think you'll remember in the program committee. Let me move this up. So we have immigrant services, literacy program, fatherhood programs are all part of community development. Strategic partnerships is our new division, and they are working in the communities. They work with youth that they do. What did they have? They had a youth town hall that was telling the mayor what's needed in the communities in which they live. They do special initiatives and events. They're working on strategies in the neighborhood to prevent crime and encourage safety. They work with the Office of Neighborhood Safety, which is a unit that came over from the mayor's office. And these people are in the communities all the time, attending to whatever a crisis is happening. You know, if there's a shooting or something, they're there. So these people are really in the thick of everything. And they bring the connection to services that may help to prevent more violence in the community and to prevent the shootings that are all over the place. So that's strategic partnerships. These are some programs that the DYCD youth participate in to step it up. The Step It Up program, they dance depending on what theme it is and what year. And this year it was to stop the violence campaign, and also celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So each group, and these are all the kids that are in the after school programs and other programs of DYCD, are competing to see who does the best dance steps. And then these are some other programs that are done with the kids. There is the Saturday Night Lights, where the gyms are open later on Saturdays so that the kids can come in and do sports. They can do dance, they can do art. Young Sharks is a business type thing. They come up with a product. My Brothers and Sisters Keepers are young advocates for their community. There's a DYCD mentoring program and the Soccer Success program. So these are some of the focus groups that have happened, the youth town halls and community resource fairs, just to let people know what's available and what's out in the community. And here's a little bit more about the Office of Neighborhood Safety. And that's the whole thing. But you got this in with the meeting notice. I sent it to you today. If you want a hard copy of it, I can send it to you as well. Just let me know. And that's it for me, Susie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anita.
You're welcome.
Yes, what a wonderful PowerPoint. Does anyone have any questions for Anita about this PowerPoint? Any additional questions, comments? Anita, I know that you're using this PowerPoint at the meet and greets, isn't that right? And you have 41 of those to do.
Right.
I'm just wondering, does your unit ever do this presentation to other groups like youth councils
I mean,
or
we could
nonprofit organizations?
But it probably would come out of our the strategic partnerships division. They actually created that slideshow just for us, for our meet and greets. So, but we're happy to go and talk about, because as Susan said, we're down. We have room for 492 NAB members, and we only have 200 right now.
Wow.
So that's for a variety of reasons. You know, the NAB membership is only 6 years long. So people have transitioned out of the NAB. So now we need to recruit more. And
that is very important. And I'm wondering if and I realize that I'm mindful of the time, but I wonder if we should have devoted more time during this meeting to talking about that. Susan, I mean, just circling back for a minute, did you want to say anything to us about ways we could be helpful in recruiting people, or do you feel, you know, your unit has a handle on it and you'll just keep us posted?
Well, so I wouldn't say we have a handle on it. We are trying to handle it. Our biggest challenge is dealing with the elected officials, and some of what we're dealing with is them not knowing who we are and what we do, and they don't understand the importance. So the language has to go out about what these members do and how important they are in terms of fulfilling the needs of the community. I think if they understood the importance of it, they would say, oh, okay, let me see who I can recommend. And even we go to them with completed applications and ask them, will you consider these people? Very little response. And we don't know why. And we're just trying to, it's a challenge. We're trying to get them to come on board with us to fill up the boards. That's it.
Well, that's, I appreciate that.
And
Again, I'm mindful of the time, and I don't know, I realize we don't have a lot of time to talk about that now. Could we revisit that, first of all, at our next Strategic Partnership Committee meeting? And also, I'm just wondering, for everyone who's participating in this Zoom, as Grace said, if you know of an elected official, each of us, you know, could we reach out to that elected official and ask them, are they aware that, you know, there are NAB vacancies that really need to be filled ASAP? And, you know, can they prioritize that?
Well,
Maybe that's one way we could help.
yeah, well, I would go a step further and say, send me or send everybody the list of people of applications that are completed, of those people. And then, like I said, if I had the list with me now, when I see my assemblyman, I would just say, listen, how many do they pick? One or two?
The assembly people have one seat.
Okay, so I would just tell them pick one. You know, I mean, I would just say, listen, we have to get somebody on, and I'm pretty sure he would do it. Now, city council has how many? One or two?
It could be one or could be two, depending on where they're located.
Okay. Anita.
So maybe we could make
Okay.
this like a top of the agenda for the next Strategic Partnership Committee meeting. And Grace, please do report back to us if you, on like how it goes. But for everyone who participates in this meeting, maybe we could have a more in-depth conversation about this at the next one. Is that reasonable, Anita?
Yeah, we can do that. And
And-
that,
and-
and
I mean,
that would be,
I'm wondering whether this is also, are you seeing this as a byproduct of COVID and people
it
are
is.
not coming out again?
Mhm,
Huh?
it is.
It is.
It's
And you
a
know,
byproduct
so
of the, yeah.
we
Go
have
ahead.
on my desk, I have 71 completed applications. And we've informed the elected officials that we have these applications and still very little response.
Well,
I have a
I
question.
think you have to know who you're talking to,
Yeah,
because if
you-
you're talking to,
We
Just
call-
I'm
we
sorry,
call-
Grace.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there are a bunch of people talking at the same time. I'm wondering, Grace, did you want to say something? And then Ileana and Jackie?
Well,
Grace, did you want to just finish?
I just
your
wanted to
point?
say that a lot of times when the elected officials, they have staff members, a lot of young people that don't really know and don't really get either. I don't know if because they don't know what DYCD is. They don't know about CAB or NAB or anything like that. I mean, Anita knows I've been trying to, when I was on the NAB, people like the what? You know, it was like in Jaws when you say shark, what shark? But that shark. Anyway, so a lot of the staff members, I would go to the chief of staff directly or the community liaison directly, and not to just leave. I don't know who you talk to.
Grace, we are going to the
Yeah.
chief of staff. The people you just mentioned, that's who we go to. We go with a packet.
Yes.
We come complete and we're just waiting.
So you send an email or you call?
No, we physically go to the office.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my turn.
Ileana, did you want to? Ileana, did you want to say
Yes,
something?
hi, thank you. I wanted to say two things. I guess the first thing that I wanted to say is I wanted to apologize to Mr. Gibson. He sent me an email regarding the meet and greet for the NAB9, and I didn't receive them. I still use AOL, and they went in a different part of my email. So I saw them just today. I started looking. So I apologize for missing the meet and greet. And you and I can connect offline just to further have a conversation about how we can work together for that. And with regard to the applicants, I think perhaps, I know they're dropped off at the offices, but perhaps we or the individuals that are in the NAB can go to the specific offices. If you have those applications, if we know where the vacancies are, maybe we can
That was my
designate
question.
and
That's my
say,
question.
okay, these are the vacancies. These individuals will, then you can assign who's going to whose office and
Right.
just go there and, try to ruffle some feathers, because the politicians are always around when it's time to vote. They're very visible, they're everywhere. However, this is something that's very important, and we can let them know that
Absolutely.
your constituents need this, and we will do whatever we need to do to let the constituents know that you're not being cooperative. I mean, at least I will. Not wearing my NAB hat or my CAB hat, just as a constituent of the neighborhood. So I think we need to put a little pressure
Yeah.
on them, and that might be a different approach that we can possibly take. I personally am open, if there are vacancies in my section, which I know there are, to go to someone's office and get those spots filled.
So we can provide a list, we'll
Good.
provide it to everyone in the CAB
Good.
of what the NAB, not only the vacancies, but also the people who are on the NAB right now. Because if an elected official is familiar with somebody who's actually on the NAB,
Right.
we can move them to their seat
Right.
also.
Mm.
So we can do that for the board members. We can put it in, I'll put it in the board packet materials
Good.
for the cabin full.
What, is there any way you could send a list
That'll be
tonight?
very helpful.
Because
Tonight, Grace?
well, 'cause I'm gonna see my assemblyman and the city councilwoman.
So
If
I've
she's
been
tomorrow,
trying to ask a
show up.
question.
Maybe you could mention it to them, and then you could visit them another
No,
time
I can
with
send
the
you a list
specifics.
tomorrow.
I've been trying to
that.
ask a
Anyway,
question.
Eliana, thank you for those suggestions. They definitely resonated with people. So
Yeah.
thank you for that suggestion.
Yes, that was good.
Jackie, you've been very patient. Jackie
Oh my
Radham, did you
goodness
want to bring
gracious.
something up?
No, that was
Sorry.
good. I'm glad she did suggest, that was a great suggestion, and it's somewhat what I was gonna say. But what I need to know is the young lady, who was that, said they had 70-something applications on their desk.
That's what
Now-
Susan.
Okay,
Susan Patterson.
Yeah.
who?
Susan Patterson, the director of the NAB CAB
Okay,
unit
so
here
because
at
it's
DYCD.
two
Susan,
Susan.
I don't mean to speak for you. Did you just unmuted?
Okay, so what I was saying with those applications, okay, let's talk about Harlem. Who and do we have applications for Harlem on your desk? Because that's an
Yes,
easy thing.
I do.
Okay, and you're saying that the elected officials in Harlem is not working with us, or not wanting to appoint someone, or how did that work? Or the applications that's on your desk, do the applicants, are they affiliated with the elected officials? Because they could go
No,
and tell them
They're
themselves.
not, they're not affiliated with the elected
Okay.
official.
Okay, that's
And-
one
and-
question.
Yeah,
That's one question. So if they're not affiliated, someone like Anita said on the NAB, or whoever is a representative here in Harlem, like myself or others, we could go, because this is really the first time I'm hearing that it was that critical. And lobby, just like the the assembly person, Inez Dickens. Do she have anybody on here? Then you talk about Al Taylor, the assemblyman. Do he have anybody? So we have to look at that. Which elected officials do not have any appointments, and then we go get them. Now that's what I need to know here in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
that's fine.
Right.
We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then if they don't want to, why? I'll ask why, because I remember when I first started, I was Charlie Rango representative. I was put on by
There you
Charlie
go.
Rango.
Yep.
So stuff like that. You have Adriana Espion. Do he have someone on the board, on the NAB? No. So
No.
I don't understand what's the problem. I seriously.
I know.
Okay, so that's all I want to say.
And Oh, very important. Thank you, Jackie. Anita and Susan, I just want to get clarity on this. So when it comes to your appointments to the NAB, those are pretty much filled. Anita, I'm sorry, Susan, you said 200 filled seats,
Yes.
46 vacancies. So
That's
46 is a small number compared to 200. So when it comes to your appointments, they're pretty much, I mean, we need more, but they're pretty much filled. It's really what you call the EPOs, the elected, is that elected political officials? Is that what it stands for?
Public.
Only 71 filled and 175 vacancies.
Yes. Horrible, right?
Is that right? Am I getting
Yep.
clarity on
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so what Jackie said and what everyone said was very, very on point.
Yes.
Well,
And
and we can discuss it
I'm
further.
sorry.
I'm sorry, Anita, did you?
No,
No,
it's
it was
okay.
me,
I'm just,
Ileana. I know,
Ileana.
we had mentioned really quickly.
Ileana.
like, we mentioned, someone mentioned that if the elected officials already know someone, we can move that person over. I'm
Yes.
not in agreement with that. I think they need to appoint individuals because then that means we have to find more people. And obviously on our end, we're doing what we're supposed to do. So they need to do their job and appoint their people.
Yes.
That's just my 2
Well,
cents on
what if
that.
their people didn't fill out an application? So what about the applicants that live in that particular district?
Because they know individuals that they can find
Absolutely,
and
I
have
agree
them
with
fill
that.
out and have them fill out an application.
So I thought we would concentrate, okay, because we need another meeting up for the meeting, because I thought that the applications that you have on your desk is in that particular district of assembly and council and Congress, that they're the ones that we wanted on there because they fill in that application. Is that true or not true?
It is partially true because when we go to these events like National Night Out Against Crime, the meet and greets, and other tabling events, we bring all materials with us. So we get a chance to meet people, talk with them, feel them out to see if they're going to be a good fit for the board. You can't put just anybody on the board.
That's right.
Okay, and so we know what we're getting, but sometimes an elected official will say we have somebody that we're interested in. And we have them come to a meeting. We want to fill them. We want to feel them out too to make sure they're a good fit. And most of the time they are. So, but again, they know for the most part, most of them know who we are, except for the newly appointed officials. They know who we are, and we don't know what the holdup is. And so, to your point, if we can get all this information to everybody on this committee or even with the full cab and say, listen, this is what we have. Here's a packet, help. We would be greatly appreciated. It's so easy.
You have somebody that could do this and that you want to appoint. Right.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, can I speak?
Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with having them pick people because I believe there's people that have applied, so that would be jumping the line.
No, they don't know the people that applied. So if I was assemblywoman and you told me, oh, this is a lady applied, I want you to put them on the board and I don't know them, I'm not going to do it. I got to get to know them. And I'm going to tell you straight up, and that's how our Harlem elected officials operate too.
Yeah, all of them.
Really? You know, I'm going to
Mhm.
say, well, who is this person? I need to know this person. What have she done or he done in the community? Okay, here's your resume. But then I'm going to say, that's fine. That's the next time. Give me a chance to know. But I do have a person named Anita that I want to put on the board and she'll be very good. But we have to get out there and sell it. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, you have somebody you want to put on the board, fine, give me their name and let us interview them so we could get to know them too. And so that's how it works.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think we've ever interviewed applicants. Have we? I've never done it.
No, it's
some
our
do.
job. It's our job.
Yeah. But sometimes we'll give an application to an elected and they want to actually meet these people before
Sure.
they give the recommendation. And
Rightfully
that's
so.
fine. That's fine.
Rightfully so, yeah. Okay, so we have
Okay.
to have another meeting.
Well,
Anita.
this-
We gotta have the meeting after the meeting after the meeting.
Well, yes, and maybe at our next committee meeting, Susan and Anita, if you would please provide us with an update. Hopefully, some progress will have been made, and you
Good.
know, you
Tracy.
can, I mean, you've heard from this committee now, people are willing to help out by talking to individual elected officials if you provide us with some more information
Yep.
after the meeting. Yeah, okay. Thank you. What a productive conversation that was.
Great.
So we have, we're moving on now to old business. Any old business?
Nope. We taking care of the old
Okay.
business. It sounds like.
Okay, new business, any new business?
No.
No. Anything people want to bring up, before we adjourn? Any announcements? Hope you don't, I'm not talking out of turn, Anita, but anything
No,
else
no,
anyone
no,
wants to
any
say?
announcements? Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Well, hearing none, I would like to call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Jackie Bell Adams.
I second the
Jackie
emotion.
Rowe Adams, thank you.
I second it,
Grace
Grace.
Lavagna, thank you for seconding. All in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Okay, I'm gonna assume that was a collective aye.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone. This is a great meeting, and thank you again for your patience at the beginning, and see you all
Next
at the
time.
next CAB meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening,
Goodbye.
guys. Bye.
Good night,
Thank you for
everyone.
coming. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Susan.